In this problem, we're given a list of n integers and we want to output the size of the maximum increasing sequence such that two elements next to each other in the sequence would be two consecutive integers. And we also want to output the indices from the original list that we're given. So what does that mean? So if you look at the very first test case here, we're given 3, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6, 8. One such answer would be 3, 4, 5, 6. Because they're all next to each other, and moreover they're all after each other in the list. So here 3, 4, 5, 6. And here we wouldn't add 8 because 8 can't come after 6, and prior to 7 there is no 6. So yes, it would be 3, 4, 5, 6. So now how do we find the answer and how do we get these indices? So let's take a look at this test case in particular here. So now let's create an array A and let's do indices of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's look at the first one. So let's say 3. Now what is the longest subsequence we can form at 3? Since there's nothing before, it's just itself. So the size would just be 1. Now 3, the previous number is in 2, so there's no 2 prior to the 3, therefore the maximum length will also be 3. Now 4, what is the maximum sequence you can form? So is there a 3 before? Yes. So therefore it will be the sequence length at 3 plus 1 to include this 4. So it will be the sequence length at 3, which would be 1, plus 1 would be 2. Now 7, is there any 6? No, so there will be 0 right now. So then it would be the the length at the sequence at a 6 if we have seen a 6 before, plus 1. So we have not seen a 6, therefore this value would be 0. So then it would be 0 plus 1, so 1. Now 5. So 5, it would be the length of the sequence if you've seen a 4 before, plus 1. So have we seen a 4 before? Yes. And the length of the sequence would be 2 because we have a 3 and a 4. And then we just add 1 here, so it would be 3. And using the same logic, 6 would be 1 plus 3, which would be 4. And then 8 here would actually just be 2 because we've seen the 7 before, so we can create 7, 8. So here the maximum value would be 4 and be 3, 4, 5, 6, and we can create that either by this 3, 4, 5, 6 or this 3, 4, 5, 6. So the issue here is that the numbers go up to 1e9 and that's too big to store in an array. So to get around this, we just create a map, because in a map the value at the start is always 0 if there's nothing given for that key. Sorry. Okay. So first thing first, we have an integer and so int n, cn, and then we have this int. So we just read this in. Okay, now we'll have a map which I'll just call dp, and what this will store is, in this example, the index will be stored here and the sequence length will be here. So this would be essentially the number or the index in the example above, and then this would be the max sequence length. So now what we'll do is we'll have an initial, the maximum value at the very start should just be 0 because there's nothing in it yet, and the maximum number should be, it doesn't matter because there's nothing yet. So then we just go through the entire list, and so then what we'll do is dp of ai is essentially dp of ai minus 1 plus 1 from what we saw over here. That is the pattern. So now that we know this, we can just check if the new value that we just got, if this is bigger than our maximum value, then our new max would be this value, and the maximum number would just be AI. And there should be no errors. Okay, good. So now that we've done that, we now know the size, so we can just output the max size, and then we create a new line. So now we want to find the indices. So now that we know the max number, we can just go backwards in this list and we can check. So right now max number would be 6. So we can just check, is this 6? Is this 6? Is this 6? Yes. So the index would be, here. Yeah. So we know it's 3, 4, 5, 6. So we go here. Is this number 6? No. Is this number 6? Yes. What is this index? The index would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we output 5. And then we want to look for the number that's one less than that. So be 5. So we go here. Is this number 5? Yes. What is this index? 4. But it'll be 4 plus 1 because in the answer they want index rather than 0 index. Yeah. So it'll be 6. The index would be 6. The index would be 5. Is this 4? No. Is this 4? Yes. So then we would output 3. And then is this 3? Yes. Is this 2? No. And we're done. So the final output we would get would be 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 2, 3, 5, 6. So using that logic, we'll have a vector integer called answer, and then for int I equal n minus 1, I is bigger than 0, minus I. If AI is equivalent to the maximum number, then answer dot push back the index, which would be I, and then we would decrease the max number by 1. So then we just reverse the entire answer vector, and then that should store the indices in the correct order. So just be for int x in answer, we would just see out, it's one index, so x plus 1 with a space. AI is the maximum on start pushback. It's being max now. Okay, let's check if this works. 2, 3, 5, 6, perfect. 1, 4, perfect. 1, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, perfect. Okay, that looks good.